Yeah, people are talking a lot about ashwagandha.
Well, I certainly hope that everyone there is okay. Are they?
Pray for the people of ashwagandha.
Ashwagandha, our prayers and thoughts are with you during these hard times.
No, I know there's a lot going on in the world, but people are not talking enough about what's going on in ashwagandha.
And the lack of attention that people are paying to ashwagandha and the people there and what's happening to the people there.
Yeah.
I know there's a lot.
Yeah.
I know there's a lot, folks, to keep an eye on.
It's a lot to keep. Yes, we have it takes a lot of work, but it's like, that's what do they say about, like the price you pay for community is annoyance.
So please go ahead, do your own research, learn about ashwagandha, learn about the fabulous culture and the fabulous people there, and chat. Let us know what you learn.
Yeah.
Well, I've been thinking about different ways we can use the show to platform others, and I think an entrepreneurship spotlight would be great.
Let's spotlight some local entrepreneurs.
Well, you made me think of it when you shared about your friend Tom's business. Congrats to Tom.
Congrats, Tom. Tom started a new business. It's called Street Side NYC Mobile Interior Detailing. So
interior detailing. You hear a lot about exterior detailing.
You don't hear a lot about interior detailing, but I believe it's when
that?
you kind of clean a car on the inside.
Well, the thing about a car is it gets dirty quick.
It gets dirty quick. And so Tom had me write a review for his new business.
Yeah. Once again, congrats. And it's just really great to see people making a name for themselves and doing something that they love.
And doing something you wouldn't really expect. Like, I didn't think about this business for him. It was really cool. But he asked me to write a review, and I was like, well, that's kind of tough because I haven't used the business because I also, of course, don't have a car, right?
We're not mobile.
But I'm ready to support my friends however they need it. So I was like, if you just send me the review, I'm happy to kind of post it. So this is kind of what he went with.
Perfect.
Went with the full interior detail and was blown away. Tom biked straight up to my door and took my car from totally gross kid disaster to looking brand new off the lot. Will definitely be returning. And then I attached these photos of my, I'm going to go Toyota.
Yeah, I'm noticing that appears to be the front seat of the car, which,
that's the passenger seat.
You're not supposed to put kids there, but they do the darndest things.
Well, yeah, and they're a disaster, my kids. So they're kind of dirty here. And as you see, Tom did an excellent job kind of cleaning it.
He's fabulous. When I get a car, because this makes me want a car, which is another great thing.
So I can get it detailed. Welcome to Stream Queens, a pod.
I'm Julia Wendt.
I'm Erin McKeon.
She is the Emmy Award-winning producer behind your favorite television shows.
And she is the indie darling of the Tribeca Film Festival.
And this is, of course, Stream Queens, the pod. Rage bait and misinformation brought to you by the intellectual class of Bushwick, Brooklyn, New York.
Yes, and we also, on this podcast, we discuss the things we've been streaming in our household as roommates. We are here to offer you the definitive take on all things pop culture, television, movies, and whatever the hell we've been watching.
And we watched something that...
Something took us by storm this week. We didn't expect this one.
No, we were just going about our little lives.
And we've been watching a lot of movies lately. If you've been following the pod, we've been kind of on a movie mode.
Yeah, for Halloween.
Yeah, and we did our Halloween movies, and we had our intention to do our Thanksgiving movies. But there was a show on everybody's favorite streamer, Netflix. And Netflix put out this show that we didn't know if we were going to watch.
And I love that Netflix has ads now.
And for the low price of, I assume, $20 per month, we get at least 3 ads every 7 minutes. And it's really nice because I didn't know what people were doing in kind of the ad space. I didn't know that Grubhub and Amazon Prime were kind of working together. And
they're still selling cool. Lenovo with those little red clits in the middle. Chill.
Yeah.
They get it's a computer company, and they have the little red trackpad in the center. They get crusty and dusty. Oh my god! After 2 years,
gross.
the rubber cracks.
Yeah,
love them.
That's
they're
so
selling
cool.
them still.
Wait, sick.
On
we
Netflix.
Should get one on Netflix,
where we watched Wayward.
Okay, y'all.
Showrun, created and showrun by Mae Martin.
Yeah, Wayward is a Canadian. Hello, clock it. Mystery thriller limited series, of course, created by Mae Martin for Netflix. Nothing is what it seems in Tall Pines. After an escape attempt from an academy for troubled teens, 2 students, Lila and Abby, join forces with a newly local police officer, Alex, in unearthing the town's dark and deeply rooted secrets.
Deeply rooted.
Yeah.
There's a lot of Earth metaphors. We seem to be, I don't know whether it's in the air, but cult and pagan type
stuff.
Yeah, bacchanals.
Mm-hmm.
And also strict order, kind of controlling diet, controlling
Sure.
and isolating people. You clocked that right away in Wayward, which is really about this town, but this town revolves around Miss Toni Collette's
Yes.
school,
Yes.
which is then investigated by, of course, Officer Trans Alex Dempsey.
And it is, of course, set in the year 2003, which is a particular time. And this is kind of the town of Tall Pines
took us a
appears.
second.
Yeah, it took a second to figure out what time we were in because the town of Tall Pines does appear to be kind of a queer utopia where we accept everybody as they are.
We're like, this.
But they're not using
Schitt's
iPhones.
Creek.
Yeah, people are kind of listening to like CDs and they have like, and we're like, huh, is this a period piece? Because the queer dynamics were confusing us a little bit. But then we find out it is a period piece, of course, set in the year 2003.
Which is just nice to know that there's a place where you can be yourself as long as you submit yourself to Toni Collette.
Yeah, it's true. And that's Toni Collette is, of course, what drew us to
Initially,
watching Wayward
she's
because we were
fab.
like, and we'd been considering for a minute, we were like, should we watch the Toni Collette Netflix vehicle? Should we watch it? And finally we did. And I got to say, we were just enthralled.
Blown away.
And we were just trapped.
I went for the full interior detail and I was blown away by Wayward.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Like before I watched Wayward, I was a total kid disaster. And now I'm feeling brand new, fresh off the lot.
And yes, and wait, Tom should run an ad on this podcast.
Yeah,
he just did.
Yeah, he just
once
did.
he starts making money.
Yeah, we'll charge him we'll back pay. He'll have to back pay for that one.
Obviously, we're gonna start plugging other people's stuff, and then like, do you think we can
start invoicing them?
Yeah, like, and then accrue like interest.
Wait, let's do that. Let's start advertising all of our friends' businesses and then invoicing them immediately.
So check your mail, your inbox.
Yeah, you could be getting an invoice from Shroom Queens of Pod any day. We gotta keep the lights on, folks.
No, literally.
The studio's expensive, and we live here.
Wayward, because when we were drawn in, like you said, by Toni Collette, and we had seen the image or whatever of the show art, and she was wearing kind of some boxy glasses in a way.
We saw Toni Collette in big glasses,
and I was like, but have I seen this before?
Have I seen this before?
Because I've watched everything Toni Collette's ever done, except for Muriel's Wedding.
Oh, that's interesting. I was gonna say not only Toni Collette, I've watched most of the shows about a cult headed by a kind of eccentric, middle-aged white woman.
Yeah, like Mother Goose.
I've seen those shows. You know what I mean? So I'm like, I'm already in on the concept, but again, have I seen it before? Was a question I was going in asking. And then I was, of course, interested in the fact, too, that it's, of course, like about generally the troubled teen camps, which plague our nation. So apparently Mae Martin had a friend who went to troubled teen camp and is part of kind of the inspiration behind this series.
As made famous by Paris Hilton, the troubled teen camp.
Wait, Paris Hilton went to troubled teen camp?
Yeah.
Which one?
Shoot, it's certainly public knowledge. She testified in front of Congress about it.
No.
Yeah, that was the one where she is doing the voice of like, I like your glitter. Senator, I want to talk about something very serious. You know, like the little voice crack. She went to Capitol Hill and was like, hey, so I'm going to testify of something that happened to me and is abuse.
Whoa.
And like it appears, I was trying to do some research, chat. We gotta do something about this.
No, the troubled teen camps are a problem. I had a friend.
Did you know? Yeah, I was going to say.
I had a friend. It was Kylie. Shout out bestie.
Hey girl.
Kylie's boyfriend in high school was like literally, so one day we all hang out all the time, obviously. And then like one day Mitchell, boyfriend, not in school.
Kylie's
boyfriend's not at school. She hasn't heard from him. He's like not texting back. It's kind of like a where is he situation after school. We're kind of like freaking out. It's really weird not to have heard from him. And then I think like a whole day goes by after like not hearing from him.
And by the way, if that's my boyfriend, I'm mad.
No, for sure. We are really confused and worried and like, and then so his parents are actually teachers at the high school. So I don't know if it was like the next day or something, but basically she's like, where's my man?
Yeah.
And they're like, so
where's your son?
We sent him away.
What do you mean away?
And what do you mean away was exactly the question, because then we don't see Mitchell for It had to be like a month or two or more. Like it was a while.
Do you remember how long?
No, because it was time was such a blur, you know, it was high school. I don't know. But it was like,
And your friends were
she
literally
got
being
a
kidnapped. Like,
yeah.
that's traumatic.
Well, and we don't know all the details at this time. It wasn't until he got like she gets one like letter from him that kind of explains what happened, which was that he was like quite literally kidnapped in the middle of the night, and was like in his bed. People woke him up, I think like wearing ski masks and shit, pull him out of his bed, and he's like screaming for his parents, obviously, and he looks and they're standing in the doorway like watching him because it's like they've arranged for this to happen. So then he gets sent away, put on a bus, put on a plane, ends up in the wilderness and had to like survive the wilderness for like a month with kind of like a backpack of supplies and like just like live outside.
What was it like when he came back?
He was really upset. It was not a good experience. And it was also,
Damn it, dude.
Because he talked a lot about it was also like really tough because he, I think, kind of like.
What did he get sent away for?
Smoking weed. Like that was what was crazy. Like he was, no, I mean, we were potheads for sure. But like just smoking weed.
Everyone.
So was fucking everyone. We were in high school. Like literally he was not like a horrible kid. He was like a fucking pothead. And like that's what he got sent away for. And he was like, I was with kids who had like done like, you know what I mean? Like a armed robbery. Like he was like, I was with kids who had done like really bad shit and I'm there for smoking weed.
It reminds me of that joke where like the prison magnet is like, we got to keep pot illegal. Without it, it's just murderers in the prison and it makes for a very bad vibe.
Yeah, no, exactly. It reminds me of when I went to, because I got sent to NA for smoking weed when I was in high school.
NA?
Yeah, Narcotics Anonymous.
Got it.
I had to go to Narcotics Anonymous meetings in Missouri for smoking weed, and I like couldn't tell anyone there that I was smoking weed.
Opioids or meth there in Missouri?
Both, lots, everything.
Yeah.
And that's the thing, like I'm sitting around hearing all these people's like really obviously troubling stories.
Yeah.
And then it like came to be, I had to go to like several meetings, and so at some point like I can't like avoid kind of
Your parents did this?
Yeah, of course. Chuck. Yeah.
Hey.
Yeah, my parents did this, of course.
Which is tough. I was reflecting upon this. It was like my mother's, it was like a threat when I was acting up right around 15. Similarly, I was smoking pot. I was threatening to light myself on fire.
Of course.
I was kind of like experiencing kind of mood dysregulation for some of the first time and not having the words. And then, of course, as you'll recall, I am transgender.
Yeah.
That was not. Oh, I was not aware of that at the time.
I'm sure, and so I can imagine
and a lot of gaslighting.
Well, I'm sure you'd had a lot of troubles as a result of not yet understanding that.
Yeah, which to send me to a boot camp or military school, that was we're going to send you. Yeah, you want to get sent to military school?
Oh,
and it's like, you think that's gonna? I'm good, right? Like I was like, I kind of like in the show. I'm pointing to our TV. They did a great job of like showing how kids talk to their parents, to each other in really cutting ways. Like there's a lot of these people, they're little fledgling people with really intense dynamics. And I was very good at being like, I'll light myself on fire. You're going to send me away. You're going to miss your kid. And then I'll light myself on fire. And it's like, maybe let's explore lighting on fire instead of like, then I had to go to a therapist, and the therapist this first one was a dude, and he was like, there's only two ways out of here: a body bag or prison. And it's like, of this office?
Yo, I had a very similar, like,
yeah.
I had to go to a psychiatrist because of my problems.
Right.
And then when I go to the psychiatrist, I remember like I had this like totally normal conversation to me, right? Like she was just asking me like how bad I wanted to kill myself and stuff. And so I was kind of just telling her, I was like, this is kind of what's up. Like, you know, whatever. I don't think anything about it. And then my mom goes in, has like a meeting with the person. They like ask me to leave the room. Then my mom goes in, and then my mom like comes kind of huffing and puffing out of there. And she's like, we're leaving. We get in the car, and I'm like, what had happened? And she was like, what did you tell that woman? Because she told me if we don't take you to the hospital or send you away, like right now, that you're going to die. She's like, do you want that? And I was like, not at all.
Which part?
So then she was kind of like, so you're going to chill? And I was like, for sure, I'm going to chill on it. Because like, if that's my only option, yeah, let's avoid hospital.
It's so dramatic, and it's so drastic.
Dramatic,
and
but it's like it's where we're being dramatic. Teenagers are dramatic.
Well, and just this outsized one size approach to everybody.
Yeah.
And that's what we saw like really well depicted in Wayward, not just like the troubled teen industry, but like system kids being brought together with like kids who have smoked like pot and are pissing their parents off. But it's a lot of gay kids too. And that's what like, when you mentioned it appeared like an oasis, we come to learn that all these like kind of like, kind of like Queenie and Butchie.
Oh, yeah.
Townspeople
And Tall Pines.
Yeah, who are like baristas and
yeah,
like,
a lot of like queer baristas. Immediately, Officer Alex Dempsey is like immediately accepted as one of the boys on the squad.
Yeah, but then the thing is, you come to find out these people are claiming not to be gay. Like all the like baristas and like the butches, they're like, that was a major plot point. The one guard that what's not Layla. Abby. Yeah, Abby, who I came to like very much. I wasn't sure about her at the beginning.
Yeah.
But did a phenomenal job, all the acting. But Abby was like, "Oh, are you learning French?" And the person was like, "Yeah." Oh, Mule was like, "Yeah, but like for my wedding, I'm gonna do my vows and surprise my fiance." And Abby was like, "Oh, she is so lucky." And Mule was like, "He's a man."
Yeah.
And they all this like conversion therapy piece and element that they're exploring. I thought that Mae Martin and the team did a great job exploring these different themes without answering it. Like there is not an answer, but what we do see is that trying to mute immutable and natural behaviors and expressions of humanity is pretty much a disaster.
Yeah, well, and also it does, I think it makes you think like, because this show, I mean, without offering kind of too many, how do you say, spoilers, because I think part of the intention behind this episode, at least for me, is I would love for you all to watch Wayward on Netflix.
You should.
You should. This show is really, really compelling. It's gonna grip you, and the acting is phenomenal. The storytelling is great. Like
snuck up on us,
snuck right up on us, and we just were gripped. And like you got to finish it once you get in the Wayward. You gotta see where it's going, because it's going to a place that is simultaneously like predictable. There's nothing in the show you haven't seen before,
right?
And yet you haven't seen it quite like this.
And that's on like point of view and perspective.
Yeah.
Because like that's what we talk about all the time, where it's like, hey, give people who are not cishet white rich men, and maybe like a little bit adjacent to that.
And I would say a little bit adjacent, because Mae Martin is a rich white man. No,
I don't know about Mae's financial situation, but from what I understand at this time, they identify as non-binary.
Oh, they, them. Mae Martin is they, them, non-binary. In the Officer Alex Dempsey, the character, is a trans man.
Right. And part of the reason that they did that, they said, and according to Wikipedia, is like, since it's 2003, probably...
We weren't talking about non-binary back
Yeah,
then.
and this person might have understood themselves better
as a man than non-binary. And that checks out.
Which is cool the whole time that they're like, you mentioned that Alex is taken under the like blue shield or whatever.
Yeah, for sure. Is mentioned as one of the boys, despite Officer Alex Dempsey's regular use of excessive force.
Well, I think that probably helped him establish cred. Yeah, because they moved from Detroit. Him and his pregnant wife.
Yeah, him and his pregnant, not wife.
Oh, sorry. Fiance?
I don't know, because remember, there's all the talk of proposing. They're not married.
Once again, gay marriage was illegal and
it was 2003.
Could be again. So 2012 question mark. But yeah, 2003. That's
so we're not even talking. Yeah, it's not even really.
You got to build your own,
right? So
which again is so fun to like put something like chosen family and building a family in this way, and then like exploring that theme next to something that is a little bit more ambiguous and less like, I'm happy to cheer for queer family, and then this adjacent cult type activity. I'm like, again, I get nervous about letting the world see like our inner turmoil and processing. Like we have to be it feels like I have to be buttoned up when presenting my experience or trying to talk about
my experience
as a queer person and as a trans woman. and then like off to the side, like off camera and with friends, like be able to be like, sometimes this is kind of like weird though, right? Like, isn't that funny? In a way that I'm like, this is the best. And so I really appreciate Mae Martin's ability to play with nuance. And that's what I was trying to say about perspective. Like when you have somebody, no, this is not something that you haven't seen before. But the reason you haven't seen it like this is because the person who's talking about it, Mae Martin, has a different perspective by virtue of being Canadian.
And wait, so what is how much did you, because I didn't know Mae Martin. Like when we started watching the show, I said, who's that? I know this actor, and I couldn't place who it was. You were like, that's Mae Martin. And I was like, okay, I don't know who that is. But then I was like, oh, I think I've seen Mae Martin in like just perhaps a few kind of viral clips, whether that's from stand-up or kind of like
they've got a great
being
face,
on podcasts.
demeanor.
Like I recognize Mae Martin, but only from like, I don't know, clips I couldn't even recall. I'm not familiar with the work. And then come to find out, because I think Mae Martin's just being cast as Officer Alex Dempsey.
Yeah.
To find out then Mae Martin has created and showrun this show, I said, now, who is this? And where have you been hiding?
No,
Maybe I've just been out of the
Magdalene?
loop, but I am in queer media, so why I hadn't heard of Mae Martin, who's clearly
And I, of course, had heard of
talent.
Mae Martin because Mae Martin is a non-binary comedian. So I'm like, I've been watching Mae Martin. I haven't seen their show that I think premiered in Canada. We should check it out.
Like a special?
No, it was called like Feel Good or something. It was a sitcom that they co-created and show ran with somebody else. And they got nominated for a BAFTA for it, for acting.
Congrats.
So, and then I knew them from like some of their comedy stuff.
Yeah.
And was super interested in the perspective. And yeah, at the beginning we were like, now come on, like, why would you let yourself get cast as a cop?
As a cop, but then we were like, oh, you wrote it.
You made yourself
a cop who consistently uses excessive force.
Who's addicted.
Like the bloodlust of Officer Alex Dempsey is
the Punisher. He's the Punisher.
Fully. Like it's actually like a really, and it's an interesting perspective on, I think, police brutality and use of excessive force to have Mae Martin, who you're of course rooting for the whole time, who really genuinely just wants to do good. You know what I mean? Like that's the thing. This character wants to help the kids of Tall Pines, wants to take care of his pregnant wife, wants to have, raise a family, wants justice, wants to get to the truth, and really cares about people, and yet cannot stop murdering when given the opportunity.
Well, stuff just kind of escalates sometimes to the point where it's like...
There are multiple times Officer Alex Dempsey did not need to go to murder.
No, and that's the excessive force nature.
That's the excessive part of it. But I thought that was a really fun and interesting
We were having fun with that. Yeah, we were having fun with that.
Yeah, it's tough to get me rooting for the killer cop.
No, it's like inspiring. Trans cop sets record for extrajudicial murder.
Literally, it's like breaking new ground, stuff we've never seen before.
Correct.
It's really fascinating. Yeah.
And I love to see we asked, it was episode 8 of 8 when you were like, do we know how the wife
became pregnant?
Yeah, Laura became pregnant.
We don't, and we never got answers to that.
And that, again, I love where I mentioned you pointed out at episode 8 because
I didn't care till the end. I hadn't thought about it. I just was like, oh, this is a couple they're pregnant and like they're ready to have a baby. But it wasn't until the end as their relationship becomes more complicated and you start to question, because their relationship, is going through troubles due to the wife's association with the cult, which runs the town, the fact that the community,
Tony Collette.
Yeah, there's a lot of issues going on, so their relationship is beginning to fracture in some ways. But that's when you first start to question, wait, like, how long have they been together? What do they know about each other? And wait, was this baby planned? What is it? How did we get here? Because I was just accepting all of this at face value.
Which, again, is so cool. And that's what we're talking about with the Schitt's Creek element, where it's like, no, this is just in the world. There's no... Because it's somebody telling the story from a perspective of like, this is... You're taking it for granted that this couple, which is like... in contrast to Beth talks about when she was pregnant with my sister and I in 97 and 2000.
Yeah.
That like people were addicted to asking insanely personal questions
as like how the baby came
about
to be.
Her body, her pregnancy, how she became pregnant, Barb's involvement, and just stuff that often as queer people, and especially when we're building our families, like people question the validity of it and find themselves like entitled to information. And I love that in this show, I didn't feel entitled to have to ask about. And in fact,
Right.
no one in the show does.
Is asking that question. However, I do wonder if it'll come up in season 2.
Do you think they'll get a season 2?
Yeah, I hope so.
so.
I saw it floating. It was floating around the top 10. Although I don't know how much I believe Netflix, to be honest, in their top 10. I don't know the top 10 is coming from straight up streaming numbers as it might suggest. I
Right.
believe it to be a marketing thing where they'll push stuff to the top because you click it. 'Cause, I mean, I check ultimately, like when I get
Yeah.
on Netflix, I'm checking the top 10 to see if there's
Yeah, I'm
anything I want to
curious.
watch, of course.
Sure.
You know what I mean? I'm rarely looking beyond
Is
that.
everyone? Yeah, okay.
So I think it's a marketing thing. Like, again, I don't know. I think the implication, you assume I'm looking at the things that are the top 10 things being streamed right now.
Right.
I don't know that that's
top 10 according to
right raw
Right.
numbers. Don't know. So I don't know how, because also I feel like I'm telling everyone about Wayward on Netflix for the very first time.
No, I'm like sitting
Nobody's
them down.
watching this show.
I'm sitting them down like, I think it's time that we have a conversation about Wayward on Netflix. And that's why we had to clue in everyone
Our
here.
listeners, yeah, because like we just need everyone to really get into Wayward on Netflix. Because yeah, it's exploring. It's also like, yeah, the dynamics of like the queer family unit, the broader
Yeah.
community as it relates to queerness and cult and children.
Yeah.
What we do for each other as a community, how we raise. I think there's a lot of the ideal of like communities raising kids, I think has
Yeah.
been a lot of topic of conversation in the last few years, and people being like, you know, because I think it's very needed from what I've heard from internet users who teach in schools or have any experience with Gen Alpha and stuff. Like apparently what has happened,
Love you all.
what I heard, I saw someone said the other day, they were talking about how like when we were growing up, it was very normal. All adults were kind of in charge of all children. It wouldn't be weird for you if you show up to church in a baseball cap. If another adult said, "Hey, take that hat off," you would take that hat off, right? Nowadays, parents are not permitted to parent other kids. Like you wouldn't tell a kid, "Take your hat off, we're in church." That's not your kid. Like the culture has changed. Like kids are very much the property of their parents, and they really don't get teaching outside of that. And
No,
I think,
like our parents grew up at a time when like nuns hit.
yeah, and I think there's a kind of like a yearning these days for like more like kids being raised by community and having access to more adults to learn from and stuff. Yet at the same time, that can also go awry, as seen in situations like Tall Pines Academy and Wayward on Netflix.
And that at the same time, right, they ask about those things where it's like, oh, yeah, we love the idea of raising a child in community. Mm-hmm. And then it's like, oh, which community?
Which community? Good
Right?
question.
Like ask specific questions. And that's what this does, right? Officer Dempsey's like, what's the opposite of a fatal flaw?
Superpower.
Superpower and fatal flaw is how much they care.
Yeah.
And then his methods ultimately damage other people. Often,
For sure.
as is the way with Toni Collette's school, as is possibly with the way that Laura seems to be shimmying into.
Laura's the pregnant wife.
And the pregnant wife. And we'll do a little, well, we can hold the spoiler for a second, but a lot of this show has to do with the trauma between parent and child and that relationship and like passing on trauma, inherited trauma. And Toni Collette, like many cult leaders, you identified this pretty early on, separates and turns people against their parents and their family. Mm-hmm. As you were seeing that, was there anything that this made you think differently or brought up for you about like that parent-child trauma, or like how much this is all blamed? Like Toni Collette blames everything on the parents.
Right.
And then is like, come to mommy. I'm mommy now.
Well, I think that's really easy. I mean, I think that is, to me, like the biggest critique of these troubled teen kind of camps and stuff, because it's like, if you're sending your child away, that child is very primed to be isolated from you and bitter at what you've done and ready to accept a reality where you've abandoned them, and therefore finding this new family is the only path forward, finding this new mommy in someone like Toni Collette, who has like,
Mommy.
and part of Toni Collette's like character, like, is she doesn't seem to be an altogether bad person with bad intentions, and yet, right, like she clearly has her own trauma, and she does believe in an ideal community, and she does ostensibly want to help kids.
she
It's
seems
also
like
her
she's-
methodology is fraught and flawed and full of kind of, you know, neglect, abuse, and drugging children against their will.
And the show doesn't shy away from like the physical abuse that's inherent
No.
within these, and like they pay, you know, they dabble in like conversion, they dabble in like hypnosis, and they dabble in that like wilderness extreme shit.
Yeah.
It just feels like, don't send your kids to places where parts of them, or indeed all of them, must die.
Yeah, it's really tough. There is a lot of death at the camp, at the school.
I
which
was
is
glad
bad.
to see that, like, this is a spoiler, most of our faves made it through,
Yeah, spoiler alert, most of our faves do make it
which
to the
was
end.
refreshing.
Yeah, which was refreshing. We didn't kill off anyone. Anyone we don't want to see in season 2, still there. But it really, like, yeah, and I thought the teen dynamics on the show
Yeah, speak
were
to it.
very well expressed. I thought the friendship between Lila and Abby
Yeah, love you
was
too.
really just like well done. I think they did a really good job of like young teenage friendship where your friendship does feel like the whole world to you,
Yeah.
and you don't know yet how things are going to change. There is a presumption of forever, and we're going to stick by each other
Yeah.
forever. And that, of course, as Toni Collette will point out in the show, is often not the case. As the guidance counselor before they go to the academy is going to point out, is
Cutie
often not the
patootie.
case. And it's like how much two teens getting close can affect each other at that age, and therefore affect the trajectory of the rest of their lives. Like you hear it all the time, right? Like, because it's like,
Sure.
she was such a good kid until she kind of fell in with the wrong crowd, right? Or like you can fall
Yeah.
into these, and usually it's not even so much a crowd, it's like one person, it's a best friend, and how you can drag each other down and lift each other up, right? You could be the solace you need in each other from your families, and yet one might be introducing the other to drug use, to older men, to whatever the situation
I didn't
is.
start smoking Newports by myself.
100%. And it's like, right, these relationships can be so important and so necessary, and yet also destructive. And I thought this show did a really nuanced
Yeah.
portrayal of that dynamic.
Without condemning or like endorsing.
I thought the show had a lot of
Yeah.
heart. I didn't think there was a single character which felt bad, evil, or able to write off. I really thought every single person on the show was, their character, no matter how bad or good what they're doing was approached with an amount of nuance, except for the one,
Yeah, talk to me.
just the one male counselor who does come off quite evil. Duck.
Yeah.
He did not seem to have some redeeming qualities.
Well,
But maybe we'll get them in season 2. I don't know.
yeah, I'm not always my most redemptive at work either.
Of course.
You know,
of
I'm at
course.
work mode.
Yeah.
I'm not beating up any children ever.
No.
So, you mentioned the like heart of it and the teen relationships, which not only comes from Mae Martin's like using their life and their teen friendship, but also, I guess I think the director of most of the episodes was involved with the production of Heartstopper.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah, you love that show.
Well, yeah, and it's very heartfelt, very teen.
Yeah.
Again, the audience is different, but
Right.
it makes sense that it's really cool to see people bring.
I love television with heart. I just do. I just think it's the most important thing.
Absolutely. We took the leap.
We took the leap, and it's important that everyone, I think, who's listening to this, not listening to this, tell your family, tell your friends, take the leap, stream all of Wayward on Netflix by Mae Martin.
I'm Julia.
I'm Erin.
And this is Stream Queens the Pod.
Follow us on Instagram, TikTok, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, YouTube, and probably more.
Rate and review us too. It helps put us in the feed of others who want to hear exactly what we're all talking about.
Yeah, so please go online and leave us a review that says something like,
went to Stream Queens for rage bait and information and was blown away. One last
Took
question
my
for you.
life from total kid disaster to brand new, fresh off the lot.
Brand new, fresh off the lot type pussy.
Absolute. What was your last question?
Yeah, my last question is, who's Madeline?
And who the fuck is Madeline?